By this time, all the matinees must have begun. Only a few shopkeepers and cats remained about. Above the sycamores bordering the road, the sky was cloudless, but the light was soft. The tobacconist on the other side of the street brought a chair out on the pavement in front of his door and sat astride it, resting his arms on the back. The streetcars, which a few minutes before had been crowded, were now almost empty. In the little cafe, just Pierrot, beside the tobacconist, the waiter was sweeping up the dustwood in the empty restaurant. A typical Sunday afternoon. I turned my chair round and seated myself like the tobacconist, as it was more comfortable that way. After smoking a couple of cigarettes, I went back to the room. I got a table of chocolate and returned to the window to eat it. Soon after, the sky clouded over, and I thought a summer storm was coming. However, the clouds gradually lifted. All the same, they had left in the street a sort of threat of rain, which made it darker. I stayed watching the dark sky for a quiet while. At 5, there was a loud changing of streetcars. They were coming from the stadium in our suburb, where there had been a football match. Even the back platforms were crowded, and the people were standing on the steps. Then another streetcar brought back the teams. I knew they were the players by the little suitcase each man carried. They were bawling out their team song, "Keep the ball rolling, boys." One of them looked up at me and shouted, "We licked them." I waved my hat and called back, "Good work." From now on, there was a steady stream of private cars. The sky had changed again. A reddish glow was spreading up beyond the housetops. As dusk set in, the street grew more crowded. People were returning from their walks, and I noticed the dapper little man with the fat wife amongst the passerby. Children were whimpering and trailing wearily after their parents. After some minutes, the local picture houses discarded their audiences. I noticed that the young fellows coming from them were taking longer strides and gesturing more vigorously than at ordinary times. Doubtless, the picture they would be seeing was the Wild West variety. Those who had been to the picture houses in the middle of the town came a little later and looked more sedate, though a few were still laughing. On the whole, however, they seemed languid and exhausted. Some of them remained loitering in the street under my window. A group of girls came by, walking arm in arm. The young man under my window swore so as to brush against them, and shouted humorous remarks, which made girls turn their heads and giggle. I recognized them as girls from my part of the town, and 2 or 3 of them, whom I knew, looked up and waved to me. Just then the street lamps came on altogether, and they made the stars that were beginning to glimmer in the night sky paler still. I felt my eyes getting tired. What with the lights and all the movement I've been watching in the street, there were little pools of brightness under the lamps, and now and then a streetcar passed, lighting up a girl's hair, or a smile, or a silver bangle. Soon after this, as the streetcars became fewer and the sky showed velvety black above the trees and lamps, the street grew emptier. Almost imperceptibly, until a time came when there was nobody to be seen, and a cat, the first of evening, crossed, unhurrying, the deserted street. It struck me that I would better see about some dinner. I had been leaning so long on the back of my chair looking down that my neck hurt when I strained myself up. I went down, bought some bread and spaghetti, did my cooking, and ate my meal standing. I was intending to smoke another cigarette at my window, but the night had turned rather chilly, and I decided against